Would you rather make $100,000 helping 1,000 people, or would you rather make $100,000 helping 10 people, maybe even one person?
No one has ever been able to crack the code on how to scale one-on-one coaching. The future of marketing is a demonstration of competency. And that's exactly what you're doing through this model here. I just did one a month ago, and that was a $290,000 tiny challenge.
On today's podcast, we have Richmond, who's gonna help you unlock your business and get you paid more, helping less people. Most people have this conception that you need a large audience, a large email list to make large money.
Tiny challenge is a challenge that's done one-on-one with just you and another person, and that's it.
High-level people, they want that intimacy.
The close rate is insanely high because there's so much reciprocity, and you can tailor your offer exactly to what they want and need because you know everything about them.
Is there any industry that it doesn't work for?
I really believe that probably in about 2 or 3 years' time, it's just going to be the number one go-to framework to help someone make their very first dollar online. And then when they master it, their first 100K offer will be through a tiny challenge too. So,
Richmond, thank you for being on The Department.
Thank you for having me.
I've heard incredible things about you and what you do for entrepreneurs and business owners, primarily from Myron Golden himself. We went golfing a couple months ago, and he said, dude, there's this guy who teaches this really cool way to sell high ticket offers or premium value offers. And I was like, what? And he said, it's something called like tiny challenges. So I believe most of my audience are always wondering how they can sell their genius. And so you've been able to help multiple people in various different industries apply this thing, which is tiny challenges.
Yeah, including Russell Brunson too. He ran 2 of them.
He ran
$100,000 each.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just define, first and foremost, from a 30,000 feet square, point of view, what is a tiny challenge?
Yeah. Good question. Good question. So,
or maybe let's just go challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's a challenge?
What's a challenge?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, most people. It's funny you say that because some people don't even know what a challenge is. Like,
right.
What like a challenge? Like a fitness challenge? Like, well, there's business challenges, or you do the content challenge, and Myron does his make more offers challenge. So a challenge is typically 5 days working with someone, and it's in a group setting, and there's one specific outcome, and people do the homework and get the outcome through a 5-day challenge, kind of like a fitness challenge, but more for our space. And so that's what a challenge is. But a tiny challenge is a challenge that's done one-on-one with just you and another person, and that's it. And I know you're looking at it like,
no,
yeah, like who does that? Can you do that? Is it scalable? All that kind of stuff. It's you can run a challenge, you can run a webinar, you can run a masterclass, you can run a workshop, you can run all these other things. But a one-on-one challenge is the easiest challenge to get started in with the least amount of friction. You don't have to launch it. You don't have to have a big list. You only need one person, 100% show rate because it's all locked in. The calls, 5 calls, 5 days, generally done over the 5 days, but you can do it over 7 days if you want because sometimes the schedules don't align. And it's just, you don't have to have much experience to get started. It removes all the imposter. If you're a beginner and you don't know your offer, then it's the best place to get your offer down pat. If you don't know what your messaging is, you'll know your I help statement after the first 3 calls because you hear everything. Yeah. And so from that point of view, it's great to get started, but also we can talk about the advanced version as well.
No, dude, it's so good. I'm just thinking because most people feel like most people have this conception that you need a large audience, a large email list to make large money.
Correct.
And sometimes I actually pause even people in my inner circle. I say, hey, don't do a challenge. Like it might be too much to chew or to like attack, because yeah, you don't want to sell 5 tickets and like you said, one person shows up. Now you're showing up discouraged.
Yes.
So all this mental hoops, which I think this is what is really cool about this.
Solves all the problems. Yeah.
On an internal standpoint and external standpoint. And something that a light bulb came off to me, and you probably know it, is that like high income earners or high level people, they want that intimacy.
Yes.
And so
they don't want to be in a group challenge with everyone else. Like if they're a hype, like big player, like we're talking about Rick, you know what I mean? He's not going to go in a big group challenge. Like tiny challenge is perfect.
Yeah. So, okay. So So, okay, so we defined what a tiny challenge was.
Yeah.
It's a series of calls. Let's just
That's
boil
correct.
it. It's
a series of calls done over consecutive days, ideally, one-on-one. Typically, the gold standard is 5 calls over 5 days, one-on-one. The calls are about 45 minutes each, and you take them through one specific outcome, get to the end, present your offer, and then the close rate is insanely high because there's so much reciprocity, and you can tailor your offer exactly to what they want and need because you know everything about them.
So, okay, so how do you market and sell the tiny challenge?
Yeah, it's so easy. I mean, if you were to run an ad, I mean, you'd spend $30 because you only need one person.
Yeah.
But so we don't say why would you run an ad for? Just it's organic traffic, and you're the king of organic marketing, And so it's just really putting out a call to action to your list and get someone to apply to work with you one-on-one. It can be free or it can be paid. I think if you're more at the starting phases, just do it for free.
Good.
Or with a $97 fully refundable deposit that gets paid back at the end. It's just easier to fill up your first couple, but you can do a paid version as well. Yep. And you just do a call to action to your list. You'll get, if you got 100 followers, you're going to get 10 people to put their hand up, and now you got the luxury of having to pick which one you want to do.
Dude, and I think something really cool is, like you said, just do it for free if you're starting out. One reason people need to do things for free when they're starting out is for the data.
Yes.
Like you said, the people just showing up on Zoom, people don't realize if the problem is in, we all know the problem we're trying to, solve. If it's very clear, they're just going to tell you all your future marketing language. They're going to tell you all the problems that they're really dealing with. You thought it was like the surface level thing, but it's like, oh, this is what they really need help with. And so, no, that's really good. Is there any industry that it doesn't work for?
This is great. Like I haven't figured out an industry that it hasn't worked for yet. Like people I'll give you an industry. So it definitely works for real estate agents and real estate industry, but the personal training industry, I feel like this is going to be the biggest innovation and to personal trainers. Because personal trainers, their business model, and most of them are broke, right? And so their business model is you go to the gym and they'll approach you, want a free 30-minute session. And so they'll give out free 30-minute personal training sessions. And at the end of it, if you like it, you might buy 10 sessions. And normally it's $80 a session, and they'll sell you 10 sessions for $600. And that's a broken model. They'll probably have to give out 10 free sessions to sell a $600 package. Imagine a personal trainer went to you and said, hey, I'm doing this one-on-one 5-day challenge, just one-on-one.
Dude, in a world where like one-on-one is actually a way to stand out right now.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And so, if a person was trying to approach me at the gym, say, I've got a one-on-one 5-day challenge with me, one-on-one, whether it's free or fully refundable deposit, whatever it is, if they took me through that process, or even anyone through that process, they'll know everything that you've tried, what's not working, what are you not willing to do, where have you failed, what are your pain points, what are your goals, what are your sticking points, everything, right? And then at the end, they're not going to be offering a $600 program. They'll offer like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 thing for 6 months, particularly if you're like a female saying, look, I can help you get back into that dress that you wanted to fit in again before you had kids, that you've tried for the last 6 years. And now I know exactly what, if you like this, would you like more of the same? And they're going to be selling $2,000, $3,000 programs just like that. And if they do 2 tiny challenges, that's 10 sessions. They're going to convert at least one of them. They're going to be making $2,000 or $3,000 a week.
Yep.
There'll be no more broke personal trainers from this model.
Yeah, dude. I'm and my brain is trying to break it, but it's also it's like if it's even scaling it, because that same person could do 2 in the same week.
Yes.
Yeah, you could do 3 in the same week.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're doing an hour or 2-hour Zoom call.
Yeah. Exactly. The call's about 45 minutes. If you follow the framework, you'll get down pat to about 30 to 45 minutes. But even then, if they're an hour or 2 hours, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity for the audience, because there are people that they know that there's money to be made online. They know that they have a passion, and they've helped people in the past and they've never charged for it. But like, how do you encourage people to know who they're called or supposed to serve?
Yeah, this is the best thing about a tiny challenge. So for example, if you're like, I could do corporate women, I could do single moms, but I also could do women of abuse. Maybe they could be all those 3 categories. They're a corporate woman, they're a single mom, they're a victim of abuse. And I just do 3 tiny challenges on each avatar. And guarantee after that, you will know who you want to serve. Like your niche will find you through the model.
Yeah. Okay.
It's safe. You don't have to run this big group challenge,
Yeah.
fill it up, no one shows up. And then if it bombs, then you have to wait another month because it's not like you can run it again tomorrow.
Right.
And this just allows you to find your niche through the framework.
That's good. And I just want to like where this fits in your business model, listener or watcher, is this is what you call the vehicle, the sales vehicle. Right?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what business you have. You must have a vehicle that puts, I mean, you can use the word vehicle, you can use the word room, you can use the word environment, but you need to reverse engineer the environment people are in or have gone through when they hear your actual offer.
Correct.
And this is why the challenge, generally speaking, has worked really well for me, is because I just decided that this was going to be the vehicle. Now, some people can do just 15-minute discovery calls.
Yes.
But when you're talking like one of the best ways to sell our genius is to do it in such a high value exchange where people are, it's not about over delivering, but it is about like, I got way more value than whatever the price was paid or if it was free, you know?
Yeah. Reciprocity is huge, like huge reciprocity. And I think that's underrated. Like hard work is underrated, but the reciprocity is huge. And if you do sign up, you get a raving fan from the go. Mm-hmm. And if they don't sign up, you still get a raving fan. So either way, you are creating raving fans, whether they sign up with you or not. And so you're right about the vehicle though, because you can't just have a website, mm-hmm. book a free discovery call. That's not going to happen. You actually need a proper vehicle. And discovery calls are, they're very discouraging, I think.
Yeah.
And you have to do at least a dozen discovery calls, particularly when you're starting out, maybe to get one sale, but you just do 2 tiny challenges and you get a high ticket sale very quickly.
Yeah. Could you talk through, our friend Ricky Caruth, who is like a real estate coach, walk through how you helped him unlock this? Because I know his journey. He's reached mass audiences, low ticket, monthly communities, making tons of money, which he's killing it. But he was like, man, there's something about this whole challenge, high premium value offer thing.
Yeah.
And then,
So for his level, I said, okay, probably do a paid tiny challenge. And charge quite a lot for it. So he put out a call to action. He charged $2,000 for it. And because he's got such a warm list, got so many people, work with me, one-on-one, 5-day challenge, $2,000. That's like, pick me. Like that's a steal. Like imagine Myron did that. Of course he would never do that, but and so it was an irresistible offer, one-on-one, tiny challenge, 5 days for $2,000. And at the end of it, the first one he did, he pitched the $25K and they just said yes like that. And then he did another one and he pitched his first $100K offer. And they just said yes like that. So the people who go through a one-on-one tiny challenge are extremely committed. And that's why the close rate's so high. So like we go back to the personal training example. If you got approached at the gym by a personal trainer and said, hey, would you like to do a 5-day one-on-one challenge for me? You got to be ready to
go all in.
Because I don't really feel like getting my ass kicked today. I don't. You got to be really, really ready that week to really push hard. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. So the commitment is a lot higher. And so from that aspect, that's why he did it. And it was just basically belief, being in the right room.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you help him at all with that 100K offer?
No, I didn't.
He just lobbed out the number.
Yeah. I don't know exactly. I don't know if exactly he knew what was going to be in it. And that's when I sold my first few 100K offers. For me, it was like, well, I don't know exactly what's going to be the deliverables. I knew the outcome, which is like a 10x guarantee.
Sure.
But I didn't know how I was going to deliver it. And so the deliverable was
so good.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think people just feel like it needs to be dialed.
No, it doesn't.
It's like it actually is. It's how I've even discovered what I'm going through. It's like, let's just put it out there. People say yes. It's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
And just so you know, if you think somebody isn't faking it, they probably are, or they have at one point for a long period of time.
Yes.
So like that's good. And I don't like to say, like, I won't say the word faking it, but like just throw the offer out there.
Yeah.
Omar, what's an offer? It's a promised transformation or outcome with a price attached to it. And so, can you talk to the mental, emotional cycle that you went through to get to a place where you're like, okay, I'm going to charge 100K for this?
Yeah, well, this is well, there's a story for that because I had dinner with Myron, and this was around October last year, and at Russell's Inner Circle.
Okay.
And so
was it here in Vegas?
In Boise. Oh
yeah, because he did one in, what was that, September? He was, okay.
Yeah. And so we're at Russell's Inner Circle, and there you go present something valuable to the room. It's a mastermind, but also at the end of it, like, what's your biggest problem in your business right now? And for me, it was just getting people to show up to my events, like increasing show up rate. And then Myron's like, Richmond, what's your value ladder? And I showed him my value ladder. We got a 1K, we got a 25K, and it's a very simple model. It got us to $6 million last year, and that's it, done, right? And it's like, where's your 100K offer? I'm like, no, I just want to help me increase our show up rates. Like, I don't want a 100K offer. I don't need a 100K off. This is the value model that's generated millions, and it's simple and it's scalable. And I just couldn't fathom that. And so it was really getting to me. And then funnily enough, I caught an Uber to dinner that night with Eileen. And then Eileen's like, Richmond, how come you don't have a 100K offer? And I'm like, oh, what is going on here? Now Eileen's in my ear about a 100K offer. So we had dinner that night. And then Myron just wouldn't let it go. And so he played this $100 game with me. And I'll show you the video later. It's really cool. And that game, I lost. And it was the best lesson that I ever had, because I realized the value of my worth after that game. And that night, I messaged a person who I thought maybe would take up on the 100K offer. Her name's Kaylee. And I said, hey, Kaylee, I've got a 100K offer for you. But I'll tell you more about tomorrow. And she's like, no, tell me now. Like, all right, I'll tell you now.
Dude, you're giving us the copy and paste text right now.
It is. This is like, this. You watch this and you do that. And it was just, and then she wanted to know, obviously, I just did a bit of a cheeky kind of DM. She said, tell me now. I was like, how much do you trust me? He's like, I trust you with everything. Because we know each other a very long time.
Yeah.
She's a raving fan. I helped her get to $3 million, And I said, okay, cool. I just need you to wire me the deposit now and 10,000 down, and I'll tell you more about the offer tomorrow. But I did not know what was going to be in it. And here's what I learned.
Wow.
The moment that happened, creativity precedes commitment.
Say that again.
Creativity precedes commitment. You can only become creative if you commit first. And the moment you commit to a 100K offer or whatever it is, you start brainstorming in your mind of how am I going to do this, what I'm going to put in it, what's going to be in it. And then my mind could not stop that night because I had just been transferred this $10,000 for this first 100K offer.
Wow.
And now otherwise, if I had not sold that or committed to it, I wouldn't be up all night thinking what's going to be in it. But because the fact that it's real now and it's done, then but that's for everything. Like the moment you commit to writing a book, the moment you commit to a YouTube channel, like you just do that first one and suddenly you start thinking, okay, what else do I need to do? What else? You have to commit first.
Could I challenge you with something?
Yeah.
If somebody's thinking to themselves like, isn't that a scam? Isn't that like scamming people that you sold or something where
that's
you
a good
didn't
challenge.
Yeah. What would you say to that?
Well, first of all, I knew the outcome. I knew like, okay, I'm gonna guarantee. I knew the outcome. I'm gonna guarantee you $1 million return, and I knew I could do that because I already did it with her anyway.
Yep.
But also we've done it with ourselves, and I know that I'm a good person, meaning that I would do whatever it takes to help her get the outcome.
Really good.
The only reason why Tiny Challenge was born because I've been so obsessed with getting our students results.
Yep.
And originally we were teaching them kind of like group challenges, and then like this, they were struggling, there was overwhelming. How do I fill it up? No one's showing up. Then I had to learn the skill of tech and speaking and selling one-to-many and, facilitating a room. And it was so hard for them. And I thought like there has to be an easier way. And so when someone's struggling, it's usually not it's not them. And I say that, obviously you got to take responsibility, but it's because they haven't been taught the fundamental like components of what's going to work. Like, you always got to break things down to the lowest common denominator when you're teaching someone things.
Yep.
And so otherwise they're not going to be able to grasp it and become successful. And that's partly how the Tiny Challenge was born, because I was thinking, what's the lowest common denominator that they need to do for them to make money online? And so I'm just obsessed with student results. And I know that about me. And so I don't like,
That's good.
I put it upon myself really hard to get our students results.
Yeah.
And that's my personal integrity.
Yeah,
you know?
which is great. And
Yeah.
something I've learned as a believer is like, I had to get really good at sales, marketing, offer creation, and calling people to a higher place because people who didn't have integrity were doing that. People who didn't have character were doing it. And it's like, who's wrong here? You know, like no one will know because it's on the other side is what really matters. And so that's
correct.
That's why getting really good at language and the words, that's like the first thing I did was I jumped at your like DM text. I'm like, there's words right there. Like that you can copy paste that. Hey, I have maybe it's not 100K, maybe it's 25K, maybe it's 10K,
5,
maybe it's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's, there is so much, there's compassion in that. It's like, I want to help you.
Yes.
And there is a two-sided street when charging higher prices, and it's so that people when they pay attention. When they pay more attention.
Yes.
So it's really good. I just wanted, because I just know there's skeptics, you know.
For sure. And I mean, you know, unfortunately, not everyone has integrity.
Sure.
And everyone has probably been scammed at some point in their life, and you know, you paid the money and suddenly they ran off. And you know, that happened to us one time with a holiday. We paid for a holiday, company went like silent on us. Like, what? This is a travel agent. Like, now we have to pay for another holiday. Like, so if you're a highly integral person and you got high character, then I believe when you commit first, because the thing about congruency, right? So congruency happens when you commit to a promise or commit to an outcome, and then it's like, oh my gosh, now I got to step into that identity because I just promised someone that. So you got kids, it's like you know, you promise your daughter, I'll be there at 3:00, and it's like, oh, I forgot I had something on, but you have to be there at 3:00, so you make it happen. So, you know, and sometimes you don't even know your schedule, but you got to fulfill on your promises.
Right.
And if that's the person you are, then yeah, you don't need full clarity on your offer.
Good. Say that one more time, just for the people in the back. You don't need
full clarity on your offer. The funny thing is, even if you did, when you fulfill an offer, it always changes how you deliver anyway. Yeah.
I think it's just because what most people, we're all perfectionists. Like when I put myself out there, because I was making videos on like gear for a long time. People know me a lot for like how to set up a studio and all that stuff. And I was able to put all my chips on the gear and the brands, and like that was what I was selling. But then when I started selling like me, it was like all on me, and it was a very emotional, you know, crazy thing, because now I need to sell myself. And in a weird way, I had a friend tell me like, Omar, this is gonna sound really weird, but you need to feel yourself. Not in like, that sounds really weird, but you, like, bro, you're the GOAT. So like, act like it, sell yourself. Like no one's gonna be confident in trusting you with their money if you don't sound like you're the best decision, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but I say all that to say that like, we get in our little dungeons and then we start creating our offer, and it's like, yeah, dude, just put it out there. Like one of the best things you could do is like say, what would, if that's what if you know I can help you with that, what would that be to you, like worth for you?
And that's what you can do in a tiny challenge.
Yeah.
You can literally ask them, okay, well, if you don't have any clarity in your offer, you're like, hey, well, if I was to offer you a $10,000 offer or $20,000 offer, what would need to be in it for you to say yes? And then they'll tell you, and you're like, I can do that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know,
so good. Okay, you broke down like, or you didn't break it down yet. I want you to break it down.
Yeah.
You said like you structure these calls for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you break down that structure?
Easy, yeah. The first call is the most important. That sets the tone for the whole tiny challenge. And so the first call, we go through the 4F framework, which is you gotta, so you open the call, you know, you build some rapport. But the 4Fs is number one, you want to elicit their future. So where do they want to be in the next 5 days with you over this challenge? But what's their goal? What's their outcome? And what will be a great outcome? But also 12 months from now, if we were sitting down having a coffee together, and you'd like to report to me what happened in the last 12 months, what would you like to say? And so now we know their future. Dig deeper. Why is that important to you? All those kind of questions. The second thing is we want to know what their frustrations are. So what's getting in the way? What are the roadblocks? What are you struggling with? Like, I mean, what's your biggest problem right now on getting that goal? And then the third F is where have they failed in the past? That's important. What are they willing to try? What are they not willing to try? Are they in another coaching program? Have they been, scammed or, know a bit about their history? And that would tell you more about their skepticisms or their willingness or their hunger. And then the fourth F is what are their fears? So any limiting beliefs getting in the way, any hesitations, you do that call in the first 45 minutes, you will know everything about them and you already know what to offer them.
Wow.
Like that's how powerful it is. You will know your I help statement, you will know the messaging, you will know so much about them. And then you say, well, at the end of the call, great, awesome. So here's what we're going to do over the next 5 days. I'm going to go through this 3-step framework to help you reach this 5-day goal that you're looking at. We're also going to do this. And at the end of it, if you're loving it and you don't want to, continue working with me, would it be okay with you if I present to you what a 12-month offer might look like? And everyone says yes. And that's how you structure it. And then day 2, day 3, day 4, you go through the content, assign some homework, and then do the offer on call 4 or call 5.
Hey, department fam, wanted to take a brief break from this conversation. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is that, did you know that 75% of the people that watch this podcast on YouTube actually aren't subscribed, which is a high chance that you're not subscribed. So number one, I want to say thank you for listening or watching the podcast. And number two, if you can hit that subscribe button, that would be amazing. The second thing is, if you are an entrepreneur, content creator, or somebody looking to make money online, I want to encourage you to come to this online event called the Content to Cash Challenge. This is a special 5-day event that's going to give you access to the system I use in my business to make multiple 6 figures with my content. If you've been desiring to either get your business and brand more exposure, grow a YouTube channel, whatever it is when it comes to video, I would encourage you to jump into the Content to Cash Challenge. We'll be sure to post the link to the challenge down in the show notes or the description. And I want to encourage you to jump into the VIP experience. This will give you access to a 1-hour Q&A call every day of the challenge. This will guarantee myself to answer a personalized question you may have. So I'll see you on the Content to Cash Challenge. Now let's jump back into the conversation. So good. Okay. Yeah. And then, what would you say that I have a guy in my program who teaches leather workers like how to draw on leather and create patterns for belts and stuff.
Yeah.
And they do a challenge. It's like the drawing challenge.
Yeah.
And
I think I saw that. That's so cool. So many
really
different
cool.
challenges,
Yeah.
right? Like
I just want to, because I'm just trying to break it, because now this is somebody who's like needs demonstration and like if we're doing it virtually, like have you helped somebody do it where there is an element of doing? Like if I were to do, let's just say if I were to do it, how about let's just do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, let's dial in your content studio in your office.
Yeah.
And we'll do that in 5 days, and then we'll come up with the next 10 YouTube ideas that should work for you. We'll come up with your lead magnets, and we'll do all of that in 5 days.
Yeah.
What? I guess the thing is, like, why would somebody feel like they're down to continue if you help them accomplish something like that?
Yeah. Well, this is the key. You need to elicit their 12-month goal because otherwise you're not stretching the gap. And otherwise going to leave, oh, wow, you did such a great job with these 5 days. I don't need you anymore. But hang on a sec, they've got this 12-month goal. So that's the key there,
that's
number
really
one.
good.
And at the end of the day, if you can't change someone's life in 5 days, you know that.
Yeah.
And so that's number one, stretch the gap there. And number two, listen to what they're saying. Like they're telling you what they want, but also telling you what they need. And perhaps maybe your offer is not matching exactly to what they want or need. And so be flexible with your offer. If you already got got offer that's already been selling, but just be flexible with it and think about how can I create this or even change the messaging to hit the mark with that person. Sometimes a change in message in the same offer makes all the difference. Like
100. Yeah. 100. So good. Do you have a story where you put yourself out there and you tried something and then you threw an offer out there and nobody bought?
100%. This is when I started.
Okay.
So it's funny. Back before COVID days, everyone's doing events, like live events in your local area. People would come down, and that was the model. There was nothing virtual. There was no Zoom, all that kind of stuff. It was about 8 years ago, and I had an event, and I had 80 people there, which is like, in hindsight, how did I get 80 people to this event?
That's fire.
I don't even know how to, like, a live room.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm excited. And back then, I had a $1,500 offer.
Okay.
And pitched it, thinking this is going to be so good. Table rush, and no one ran to the back. It was so embarrassing. It was, I mean, that was definitely a low point, but it made me get better.
So good.
Yeah.
Looking back now, what did you overlook or not do, or what did you do that ruined it?
Yeah, good question. Number one is market research. Like, and Myron talks about this a lot. Like, positioning is more important than presentation, and understanding exactly what they need to get the market to message match. And my offer just didn't match the needs of what they wanted in the room. So that's step number one. Step number two is taking them through, how do I say this? Like friend zoning. Like like in the dating scene, the moment you friend zone someone, it is game over.
Yeah.
And I believe there's a correlation between you wanting to please and your ability to sell. And they are inverse. And the more you want to please someone, the less likely you're going to be able to sell them. And so for me, I was a massive pleaser. I wanted everyone's acceptance. And so I would just, and people can feel that. And so I really had to work on myself internally to get rid of that pleaser so that I could really serve someone and sell. Mm-hmm. It makes a big difference.
It's really good. And then what have you done to get better at selling?
Yeah. So I used to, Success Resources is a company which does like multi-speaker events and all that kind of stuff like that. And I would crew, and my first coach, Scott, so he used to run big events, and I would crew for him for free and all these big events for free. And when I go crew there, I said, I want to be on the sales table. And so I would literally go work for free for these companies who were selling like stage rush stuff, but let me crew and let me be around the sales table. And so I just immersed myself around selling. And I watched how they sell, handle objections, take payments, close the deals, sign the contracts, all that kind of stuff. And I just did that for 2 years. That's how I learned, because I really knew I had to be good at this 100. Or be great at it. And I just surround myself with just salespeople.
Why do you think people believe sales is like, I don't know. They say sales is sleazy or icky.
Yeah, it's the conditioning, it's the conditioning of that used car salesman and all that kind of stuff. But also the wrong people are getting to sales. And that's the thing, like, anyone can sell. And unfortunately, we're talking about integrity and character before. And, everyone's been burnt by someone who doesn't have integrity. And so it's just history of cultural conditioning, but also their past references as well and what happened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is you have to get good at it.
Yeah.
Or else we'll have 80 people show up to a Zoom call or in-person event and nobody will buy.
Yeah. And, the book by Cialdini, Influence? It's a great book, and he goes through the 7 laws of influence, and one of them is reciprocity. And reciprocity is, in my opinion, the greatest law of influence. And so through a challenge, that's why challenges work so well, because reciprocity is so high. So you don't even really need to learn how to sell that well with all the other techniques if you use reciprocity. And that's why a tiny challenge, for people starting out and they don't really know how to sell, but the reciprocity is huge, that does the selling for you.
So good.
Yeah.
It's made my life easier.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, when I was creating content for another channel, I was blissfully just delivering value. Like there was nothing in exchange. I was just happy to do it and just, make other people's life easier.
Yeah.
But it's funny, when you prioritize making other people's life easier, it becomes much easier for people to buy from you.
100 on that point. I'm not a fan of sales scripts and I don't really, we don't really teach that. I'd rather give a philosophy. So the number one thing in sales is intention. and you just have the right intention, and everything flows from there. And so people can feel like what you're saying, like, just give. But if you have the intention to take their money, then people can feel that as well.
Right.
So setting the intention is the most important thing. Everything becomes easy after that.
So good. If I'm not mistaken, I think Myron told me that you can sell tickets to your tiny challenge, if I'm not mistaken, so people can watch the process.
Correct. This is okay. So
this is crazy.
Yes. Yeah. And maybe even for the person doing the was it the crafting that you're talking about? Yeah. Okay. So 100 years of coaching, since coaching's been around for over 100 years now, no one has ever been able to crack the code on how to scale one-on-one coaching. So the problem with the tiny challenge is it's one-on-one, 5 days, unscalable. And everyone's like, how do you scale that? And initially it's like, well, you can't. You master tiny challenges, you understand your niche, your messaging, your offer, everything's proven and validated now. And then you go to group. But you don't even need to do that. So this is how you scale one-on-one coaching. And I've done this, like, I just did one a month ago, and that was a $290,000 tiny challenge. So I picked a person and I said, hey, I'm going to coach you one-on-one, and I gave her an irresistible offer, and kind of like what Rick did, like $2,000, 5 calls, one-on-one. Like,
dude, I literally am like, if I showed up, because I'm not a fan of selling on social media, like, have something that you get people off the platform and then, deliver, maybe it's low ticket or something, but I kind of have no problem saying, I want to help one person next week.
Yeah. It's like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, whatever.
I know, yeah.
5 calls, 5-day challenge.
Yep.
And so now, I did that. I picked a person and said, now I'm going to help her build out her perfect tiny challenge. And I said to her, look, I'm going to give you a great offer on the caveat that you allow me to have people in the same Zoom room and shadow and watch me coach you one-on-one. I'm not coaching them. It's not a group coaching call. I'm coaching you one-on-one, but I want them to have value from it, because they're going to get so much value from seeing me coach you and transform your business. And they're going to take notes, apply it to the business. At the end, I'll break it down on exactly what I did, why I did it, and I'll allow some Q&A at the end. And so we, for that one there, we sold $197 shadow seats. And then they came in, they watched, they were blown away. They're like, wow. And then at the end, obviously, when you pitch your offer, you're not pitching to one person, you're pitching to 100 people.
Yeah.
And that's how you scale one-on-one coaching. I believe that the future of marketing is a demonstration of competency. And that's exactly what you're doing through this model here.
Yeah. Dude, so good.
Yeah.
When it comes to like the payment part, I mean, just how do you make that part like not awkward?
Yeah, you mean like how do you take payment on a sales page or something like that?
Yeah. Like when you're saying like, okay, so here's the offer. Do you do like the deposit thing? Do you talk that through, or do you like hand them off once they say yes? Like,
Yeah. So I know so many different processes like this. For us, it's pretty simple, because a lot of them, like, they've already paid $97 to be there. And so it's a paid challenge. This is like the easiest, least friction way to get paid. It's like, would you like me to charge the card on file?
Okay.
That's it.
Good.
Boom. We don't want to send them to a page or anything like. We have all that. Some people are like, oh, can you show me the page? And they want to read it. That's cool. But it's like, would you like me to charge? If you'd like me to charge a card on file right now, 1,000, 5,000, whatever it is, boom, because you got that card on file.
Yeah.
Like, it's on Stripe, whatever.
Really good.
Yeah.
Dude, fire. Who's another person you've helped recently that like their win excited you?
Yeah. Well, Russell's probably the biggest one. I mean, he ran 2 tiny challenges, $100,000 each, and he charged $100,000 for it.
So $100,000 to work with him one-on-one for 5 days.
Yeah. Tiny challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he was going to pitch a $250K offer at the back end of it, but then he decided not to do it. He's like, this was enough. Like, if you're charging $100,000 for a 5-day tiny challenge, and so he didn't want to pitch a VIP $250K offer.
Dude, because here's what happens. People feel like because they're only helping one person, they're limiting maybe they feel like they're wasting their time.
Yeah. And
there's a girl in my group who's like, she does real estate, and she's killing it on like the way she does home tours on her phone, like doing 100K months in her real estate business. She's crushing, and she wants to mentor other women. And there's like this desire in her to want to start off with all the, like just a handful of people, when, I mean, my thing for her is like, just beta test whatever you want to do, just beta test it. There's nothing wrong with just trying things, put it out there. I think what I think I'm getting from the Tiny Challenge, this is such a good put it out there.
Yeah.
But can you speak to somebody who's like, because I like helping less people. People would think that I have thousands of people that have given me their credit cards and they're taking my courses. So like, no, I've worked with a couple hundred people last year, made over $1 million. And so, but yeah, can you just like explain, like, to kill the desire to feel like you need to sell a lot of something?
I agree with that. You have 100 loyal raving fans, you will be on 7 figures for the rest of your life, because they're the people who will just always vouch for you, and that's all you need. And even like, your channel, your views are so high compared to like your subscribers. I see people with like millions of followers, and they don't have their 100 fans.
Yeah.
And so get your 100, focus on quality, not quantity, because we live in a world where vanity, that's kind of the metric, but it shouldn't be, because what really matters is how much you're impacting the 100 people around you, and you're making really, really good income from that. Like, just you do that 1% at a time, and even if you do it through a tiny challenge, you'll get to your 100 loyal fans very, very quickly.
Dude, so good. So what's your business called?
Point one, that's my mastermind. Yeah.
It's your mastermind.
Yeah, point one.
What is what's the focus in the mastermind?
Yeah, the mastermind, number one, I believe there's a hidden force, which I call the eighth wonder, and that governs everything in your life. How you dress, what you believe, what you value, what you focus on, what sports you play, what you eat, everything. And that's proximity. So who you spend time with governs every direction that you go to. And that's why we hang around like mentors and cool people, right? And so that governs it. And your parent, and you know that when your child comes home with a particular friend, they're either happy or they're not.
Yeah, right.
And so the environment is everything. So the eighth wonder is this force that governs everywhere you go. It's impossible for you to, I guess, if you're hanging around, 10 overweight people, you're going to become overweight. Mm-hmm. If they're vegan, you're going to become vegan. If they play golf, you're going to play golf. That's how I started golf, because my friends were playing golf. I'm like, I got to get into this.
Yeah.
If all your friends are earning 7 figures, it's a matter of time you are going to earn 7 figures. And so point one is a mastermind of high achieving entrepreneurs who are striving for like 6 to 7 figure mark. And when we put people in there, they hit the mark because of sheer proximity. And that's how Rick sold his 100K offer. Yep. Not because I helped him with the 100K offer, but because he was hanging around with me for so long. And it's like, I can do a 100K offer now, because they get the belief, because you always become who you spend time. And that's how I started hanging around with Myron.
Yep.
It's like, you hang around with Myron enough, you're going to start to sell 100K offer. By the way, we sold our first $1 million offer.
Dude,
a couple of weeks
I
ago.
saw that.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane because I'm not there to compute it quite yet.
me neither.
But the thing is, like, I have friends that have invested $1 million in a 1-year coaching program, and it paid off. Like they broke through a ceiling in their business that they were stuck at for 3 years, and they were able to 5x that investment in the first year. And then now you have that information for the rest of your life.
Yes.
But okay, so you sold $1 million offer.
Only because I was hanging around with Myron.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hanging around with him for 4 days, and, on the yacht and stuff. And after that, it's like...
Was this like a company, like, or an organization, or was it like just a person? Like, was it?
It was a person. Yeah. Wow. They're this couple entrepreneur. They're making 8 figures a year. So, it's just insane. Like...
No, yeah. Dude, you just hit a new level. Like, turn up. Hey, question for you. Are you somebody who is looking to start creating content, or maybe you currently create content, but all the gear and the tech just overwhelms you? If so, I wanted to let you know about our sponsor for this podcast, Ulanzi. Whether you're creating content with your smartphone, a camera, or just trying to take your Zoom calls to the next level, Ulanzi has everything you need to make your setup look and sound professional. I've been using their gear myself, and honestly, it's been a complete game changer for my content. You can check them out at ulanzi.com/Omar, and we've got some amazing picks for you. And also, if you look at the description below, we have a special promo code that will give you 12% off your entire order. Big thanks to Ulanzi for sponsoring this episode and helping us create. Dude, that's crazy. So 8 years as an entrepreneur, in your 8th year, you got to the place, let's just say 7 years, you got to a place where you got the confidence to charge $100,000 for your offer. And then in your 8th year, $1 million. This is what's really cool. You know, the Alex Ramosi's here in Vegas, and he does this scaling workshop here.
Yep.
And they really focus on the problem in your business. Like, it's very problem aware 5K workshop.
Yeah.
Just to get you to feel like, look what we're missing out on, you know? Yeah. And one of the things that they point out is key man risk, which is if we're building a business that's built around our brains, and if we're not prioritizing SOPs and systems, then when we're out, the business is out. My thing is like, all businesses have pros and cons.
Yeah.
Right? Profitability, whatever. But like, building a business from your brain is one of the most high profit business models on the planet.
Yes.
And something that's very enlightening is that some people would have like built a business to sell in 8 years, and maybe they'd be able to sell it for $3 million. I have a friend who sold his European mechanic shop for, I think, a little over $1 million after having it for like 25 years.
Wow.
You know, that's cool, fine, but in my mind, I'm like, my brain's broken. Like, like now the next, there's other levels to just different kinds of offers. When somebody buys $1 million offer from you, it's just the ability to make a lot of money in a short amount of time is why I love this business model.
Yeah, agree.
But what did that sales process look like?
You're gonna laugh at
It's
this.
the same thing.
No, I'm not even kidding. I'll show you the DM. Like, it's like, I won't mention the person's name, but hey, I've got $1 million offer for you. Put a wink emoji, and then she's like, what? No, I'll tell you tomorrow. He's like, no, tell me now.
Yeah, what is this? This I'll tell you tomorrow is crazy. It works.
Yeah. But that's my personality too.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
So I always say, we were talking about sales before, like, sell to your personality.
Mm-hmm.
The mistake I've made when I've tried to sell like someone else. So everyone has a natural selling style, and I like to be cheeky. And so sell to your personality. And the mistake I've made when I taught our students is I tried to help them sell like me. And so I'm like, oh, that didn't work. So find out your natural selling style. And so if the cheeky DM works, then go for it. But maybe face-to-face works for you better. I'm not sure. But for me, that's how it was done. Yeah.
It's crazy. So that wasn't even a tiny challenge. That was just...
No.
You understood them enough, though.
Yeah.
The relationship was there.
Exactly. Anyone buying $100,000 offer or more, the trust is immensely high.
100.
Yeah. So you don't really need to, you're not going to do a value stack, and, that would be weird.
Yeah.
Like, here's a value stack, and if it's like, that's no. Yeah.
Okay. I will ask you this question, and we're talking about charging a lot of money for our consulting or coaching services.
Yeah.
Can you speak to the concept that just because it's 100,000, $1 million, or maybe 10,000 is a lot for some people, but if I'm charging somebody $100,000, like, I have to give them my life.
Yeah.
Like, we think because we're charging a lot, we have to actually give a lot.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
Yeah, and that's the breakthrough I had with Myron. That was one of my reluctance to, but then if I do that, like, I'm tied down for a year, and I'd rather not. Like, we did well last year, and I felt free. I can play golf. I'm writing my book. I'm here with you. I'm going to Vegas, like all that kind of stuff. And I just didn't want to lose my freedom. So there's this misconception that the more you charge, the more freedom you'll lose. And so there's a story. So about a dentist, like, I don't know if it's a real story. Like, this guy had a toothache, and it was bothering him, and he kind of left it, thought it would go away on its own. And then it got worse to the point where he couldn't eat. And then it got worse to the point where he couldn't sleep. A week went by, now it's so painful that he couldn't function. So he went to this emergency dentist, and he said, I really need my tooth fixed. Something's wrong. Can you fit me in? It's like, let me try to fit you in now. Okay, cool. Sat him down on the chair, and then put out his tools. 2 minutes later, problem solved. And he's like, wow, you're a genius. Came to pay the bill. It's $1,500. And the guy's like, $1,500 for 2 minutes? You're a rip-off. And he's like, okay, let me put you back on the chair. I'll take 3 hours. Yeah. He's like, no, okay. So people don't want more time. People want outcomes. And so that's what I learned from charging 100K offers or $1 million. It's not the time they want from you. Why would they want 20 hours when you can do it in an hour?
Right.
Like, it's just, they want the outcome. And high achieving people who pay that much really don't want more of your time. They just give me the outcome, give me the thing I need to learn, give me my next step. What's the hack? What's that quarter-inch turn that I need for me to really take this to the next level?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really something good that you brought up. Not to generalize people, but there is an observation with people who do value their time and they value what the outcome you can provide them, could do for them, so much so that they're just easier to work with.
Yeah. Like you said about using your brain.
Yeah.
People, like laborers, people who use their hands, they think the only way they can make money is with their hands. And then you transcend that. And then the next level is people think, the only way I can make money is through trading my time. That's level 2. Then level 3, the highest level, is the only way I can make money is with my intellect. And so people get stuck on that time trade level without going to the next level, without realizing they can trade that. And then fourth level is leadership. It's like, you're not even doing it with your brain. You're hiring people who are smarter than you, who are doing things. And people ask me, hey, Richmond, how do you run your ads? And I have no idea. I have someone that's super smart on my team that's doing it, and I don't know anything. And they're so smart. And how are we running, like even with our in our business with operations? I don't even know what the SOPs are because my our operations manager is like the best. And if she's left, I don't know what I would do because I don't even know how to do that. So now you can leverage the geniuses of other people and not your own. And that's when you can really scale fast.
How much have you probably, if you're comfortable sharing, how much have you invested in your own personal development?
Well, up until Myron, like that was definitely the largest, that 350K offer. I would say, it's a good question. Probably 1.2.
1.2.
I'd say close to that. Yeah.
And would you have been able to get to where you are as soon as you've been able?
No way. Like since I started 8 years ago, we've made $20 million, but most of it has come in the last 2 years. Like that, exponential growth, right? And there is no way that we would have made that much without investing in yourself. Like you either pay for it or you pay for it. And I get that some people, they join programs, they do things, and then they don't get the ROI. And some programs out there are really not that good.
Right.
And you got to take ownership by saying, okay, I've got to cut my losses and move on to the next thing. But you got to constantly just evolve yourself and grow. And that's how you do it. Like take responsibility.
Yeah, really good, dude. So this book, we covered, what did we not cover that's in this book right now? Or is it just more detail or what?
Yeah. It's got frameworks, it's got scripts in there, because if you're running a tiny challenge, one of the things that might happen is, your course could go an hour and a half long. And it's like, whoa. And then imagine 5 calls like that. And I'm an introvert by nature. I know you are too. And that could be very draining on a person, especially if they were to say no at the end, especially. So it helps you keep the calls tight, but also gives you a framework of what to offer at the end as well. So,
that's good.
And so one of the chapters in the offer is there's this principle. So actually, if, McDonald's, bad example, but if I went to McDonald's and, you go to McDonald's and you order on the screen now, and they always have that, would you like this? And some sort of upsell option.
Yep.
And so if I ordered a small fries at McDonald's and they got some upsell on the screen, they got over 100 menu items that they could potentially push to you, but they're not going to do that because then you have to, no, you will never come back. But they push to you like 1 or 2 upsells. And it's really interesting. If they don't get that right offer in front of you, they don't make money.
Right.
So how do they know like what's going to be the best upsell offer that they could push to you that would give the highest conversions? And if I ordered a small fries, people were like, maybe a burger, maybe sauce, maybe a sundae, maybe an apple pie, maybe nuggets, maybe the special $2 cheeseburger, whatever it is.
You don't want to know where the last time I got at McDonald's was the sausage egg McMuffin is like $4. And then if you want to buy 2, it's $5.
That's the principle.
Yeah.
Offer more of the same. When you offer more of the same, that's the highest chance that someone will say yes, because you are not guessing. You don't know if you offer a sundae, they could be allergic to dairy. They don't feel like a sundae. But if you order fries, You know one thing about them with 100% certainty. They want fries today. They can eat fries. They're not allergic. So always offer more of the same. Anything else, you're 100% guessing.
Wow.
I always say guessing costs you money. Guessing is dangerous. That's why we get coaching. That's why you need to invest, because if you're not getting coaching, you are 100% guessing. And so the principle of more the same, I go into much more depth about at the end of the Tiny Challenge, how do we frame it more the same? One of the things is the title of your program should be probably the same hook as your Tiny Challenge.
Good.
Because if they came in your Tiny Challenge from that hook, then to offer more of the same, it actually needs to be a similar title. Even though the program, like you have a different title, you don't have to change what you're delivering, but at least the title has to match.
Really good. Before I go in, I have what is it? A very selfish question, but where can people connect with you and tap into what you're doing?
Yep. So the book's best place,
Okay.
tinychallengebook.com, tinychallengebook.com. Otherwise, you can find me, Richmond Din, on either Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. That's like my name there. I've got the blue tick. There's only one person there. I think I'm pretty recognizable, like you are. Like you've got a unique look. So, or you can go to Tiny Challenge Book. Like that's
Cool.
how you can grab a copy of the book.
And
as well.
yeah, and we'll link it up in the description.
Yeah.
And if you're still watching, DM me and let me know that you're department fam. You'd be surprised that people are like, literally, they're finding me on Instagram and they're like, I watched the whole way through.
Yeah.
Okay, selfish question. So you said that you were golfing like 3 days a week, and then you're like, I really need to write this book.
Yeah.
So can you just share a little bit about the journey? Because I want to write a book.
Yeah.
There's a part of me though that doesn't want to write the book. You know? So yeah, what was your process of writing this?
Yeah. Well, it's my second book. The first one
Okay.
was more of I just wanted to write it for the journey of writing it.
Okay.
Number one, like commit to writing it. And because writer's block is a real thing, but the moment you start writing, things just start coming out. And it is a big time commitment. But these days with AI, it makes it so much easier. And for me, English is my second language. I spoke Vietnamese when I was younger, and then, grew up in Australia. And grammatically, I'm not the best, in that. So I got a proofreader. And proofreaders are very affordable these days. And so you just write it and proofread it and get it done. The thing is, the book, I believe, so with AI, with the world changing, like someone could, most $997 courses are going to be redundant now.
Yeah.
Because you can just show me how to do
Right.
like that. So personal branding is going to be your go-to. And so your book is going to, the book is the easiest way to brand yourself. It is the easiest way to do it very quickly, whereas building a YouTube channel takes time, building your followers takes time, building your list takes time. All of those things take a lot of time, but a book is the fastest way to brand yourself, period, today. Like even
Yeah.
speaking all that.
Yeah, dude, I was actually told by a friend, it's kind of why we moved into this new space. And it sounds so backwards, but it's the future of courses is just in-person events.
Yes.
So it was at one point easy to sell a course for $3,000 online,
Yeah.
but you could sell a 2-day, accelerator workshop for $3,000, and people kind of want to get around other people and
Yeah.
get energy. And
I
I've
believe
been
so.
seeing people crush these, they have these events that they either throw monthly or bi-monthly, and then that's actually the first open door to the next thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's for people at different levels that can do something like this. I actually believe that more entrepreneurs are going to buy old church buildings.
Yeah. I
because
love
of
your
this.
building here, by the way. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Thanks. And but dude, I love this because I'm always searching for myself and also other people. What is the sure way that you could get the quickest result? And that's just like a constant journey, right? It's just optimizing and dialing things down to its pure essentials.
That's correct. And that's part of why I wrote this book too.
Yeah.
And, so stopped the golfing for about 6 months. I do believe that this is going to change the industry because it is the lowest common denominator foundationally to get paid in the quickest, simplest, least amount of friction way ever. In any framework, it's the number one place to start in any industry, in any niche. And so I knew that this was going to be a big game changer in the industry. So part of that was more from an impact goal as well. And I just wanted to really get it out because I really believe that more, like probably in about 2 or 3 years' time, the majority of the marketplace, their first dollar online was made through a tiny challenge. Like it's just going to be the number one go-to framework to help someone make their very first dollar online. And then when they master it, their first 100K offer will be through a tiny challenge too. Yeah. So the scalability is huge, and it's for beginners, but also for highly advanced people too.
Yeah, dude, so good. And this is just great for the marketplace because everyone can do it at every level. Yeah, so good, dude. I appreciate you. Thanks for sharing. Love to have you back and just talk kind of like the next level of things. I think the next level of things is probably more deep, just like more deep stuff for other people. I realize that when you put yourself out there to help others, there's a journey that we all go through to get to the confidence in helping other people, and you just exude confidence. And,
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dude, you smiled this entire time, which is amazing. Which means like, yeah, dude, you found gold, bro. And so yeah, thanks for being on.
You made it easy. Thank you, Omar.